Evening, everybody, and welcome to Living a Graceful Life. I'm Tracy Gelb, your host, and I'm more than excited and grateful and honored and thrilled to have Denise Medved, my mentor, my friend. The reason I have this show is because of her, and she gifted it to me. And she is, if you look up in the dictionary, Living a Graceful Life, there she is. She is the creator of the brain health program, Ageless Grace, that has changed and revolutionized my life and the world. So I am so honored and happy. And we are honoring International Women's Day. I almost forgot. Hi, Denise.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. I'm thrilled. And the International Women's Day is near and dear to my heart. Tracy and I have presented a few times on actual Women's Day, which is March 8th this year, Saturday. And it's been lots of fun. This year we decided to do this on her show, and I have a lot to say.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, many of you have written me, emailed me, texted me, even called me, and said that you are stressed, you're overwhelmed, that the international and domestic climate has caused you to feel down or depressed or discouraged or helpless. And this is not a political talk. This is about in general when women are feeling like this and when our world is going through chaos. We're divided. We have right down the middle. We have different opinions. We have some of us feeling very optimistic and hopeful, and some of us feeling very powerless. And so, what I want to talk about is the role of women as keepers of compassion and caring in today's climate, both domestic and international. There's so many things going on all over the world, and there have been for a number of months now, as you know. I don't need to name them all, you know what they are. And then there's also all kinds of things that have been happening to many of us on a personal level. I happen to live in Western North Carolina, so we had tragic hurricane that has destroyed hundreds of thousands of homes and taken many lives. Many of you have other things like that. Many of you have health issues. Many of you have um, negativity that's coming at you for various reasons, what you believe, how you feel, what you express. So what I want to talk about is what can we do about it? How can we handle it? How can we face it? And I have a whole long list of things that we can do that can make a positive and powerful impact. So first of all, women are really important. The feminine is very important in advocating for kindness, integrity, compassion, caring in the midst of confusion and chaos, whatever that might be, whether it's in your own home, in your own community, in your country, in the planet, and the world. So the feminine, and that doesn't mean that a man can't do this as well. They need to just call on those feminine aspects that I just named of compassion and kindness and integrity and caring and love. It sounds very Pollyanna-ish in some ways. However, all of those are energetics, and energy is a real thing. It's a scientific fact. It's caused by motion and movement and activity and action. And so when we take action wherever we can that is based on the kinds of qualities that I just mentioned, it makes a huge difference whether, again, it's in our home or in our community, or maybe you have influence and impact in your state or your country. When we wake up each day, even though the heaviness of what's going on around us may be causing us to feel like we don't want to get out of bed or there's nothing we can do, if we choose to wake up with kindness and caring, with positive thoughts, and we make a choice to go out in the world and see how many kind and positive things we can do in a single day. Because all we have is right now, right? We can't really plan that far ahead in the future, but we have today. So, what do I mean by that? obviously, volunteering is a great way to make a positive impact. And some of you may or may not be doing that already, or you may be feeling like you don't have time to do that. Choosing to volunteer even once a month, once a week, makes a huge difference in the organization that you are volunteering to care for. And of course, since it's International Women's Week, I would suggest that if you don't already, volunteering for a women's organization. There are many organizations that take care of abused and battered women. There are organizations that help supply feminine products, hygiene products to schools and girls. There are counseling programs that are asking for volunteers to be a mentor to a high school student. There are scholarship programs that are provided for people, young women, who do not have the funds to go to college or a junior college on their own, but they could use the help of an organization that does offer those scholarships, and they need someone to advocate on their behalf. So that's just the first step. One of the obvious things that we can do is be active in women's issues. We need that feminine energy. I don't know if some of you saw the presentation a few years ago called Project Drawdown. It's about creating a greener energy, about saving our planet, about what can we do to stop global warming and those kinds of issues. Created by over 100 scientists from all over the world under the initial direction of Stephen Hawking. But one of the things they discovered in all of their research and studies and all of their surveys, that the one thing that can make the most difference over the next 30 years of saving our planet and reversing the issues that are going on right now is to educate women and girls. Now, isn't that interesting? It's not, yes, it's up there to recycle bottles and to not use straws and all of those other things, but to educate women and girls is the critical, most important thing that we can do. So, being involved in some kind of program that helps educate young women, whether you are the teacher yourself, or whether you support that through funding and contributions, or whether you're a volunteer in these kinds of school programs or scholarship programs, that can make a huge impact, not just on your community and the girl's life that you are touching on a day-to-day basis, but on the planet as a whole. So, another thing that we can do to bring positive energy and increase the level of positivity around ourselves, which is how we then feel more energetic to provide more positive energy, because right now it's a choice, but it can start to happen naturally that you feel positive and uplifted if you make the choice to do what you need to do to feel positive and uplifted and share it with other women and with the feminine. Again, I'm not excluding men by any means. It's just that there is a feminine energy that is critical right now to our planet. It's very important. We've all known how the masculine archetypes have brought us to where we are today. And so it's time that the women really step up and take a stand. It's not even that long ago that we got the vote. It's not that long ago. I mean, we just had two women run for president in the last few years. That's the first time. So we're at a precipice where we can tilt and tip the energy toward the feminine aspect and view on things is in our hands. No, you don't have to run for office, although if you've thought of it, please do. uh, you don't have to campaign for anyone, but if you've thought of it, please do. So, what you can do though is literally, small, small. Don't write things that are negative, especially on social media or in emails. Don't write things to friends that are negative. Write things that are uplifting. After you write something, read it again, maybe twice or three times, and say, is there a way I can turn this around so that it sounds more positive, more encouraging, more supportive, more uplifting? Because that's what every single person on this planet needs right now, is to be supportive, cared for, uplifted. And it's guess whose job it is? It's not your priests, it's not your ministers, it's not your rabbis, it's not your psychiatrist or your psychologist. The job is up to you, up to me, up to each one of us to make a positive difference. So it could be as simple as saying, okay, today I'm only going to say positive things to everybody I meet. It could be as simple as walking through the hall at the YMCA on the way to your NIA or your Angel's Grace class, or your aerobics class or your Zumba or whatever it is that you do, and smiling at someone, say, really cute top, or I love your haircut. Sounds so simple and Pollyanna-ish, but guess what? You all know somebody said that to you at some point in time, and it felt so good. It can shift your mood when someone speaks that way to you, and it can shift your mood when you speak that way to someone else. It makes you want to do it again. It's one of the only things in the world that multiplies positivity is being positive and saying something gracious and kind, waking up and saying a positive affirmation. I happen to know that Mary Beth Beavis Cheney is on the Zoom call today on this TV show. And she and I wrote a book called Tell Me Something Good. And it's affirmations for every week and things that you can do to be more life affirming, to be more positive, to set a little fire under you, to want to make things in your life better than they have been or better than they even appear. How can you make a change that's positive and for the better? So I mentioned making a compliment to someone, saying something to someone who looks down, who looks discouraged, who's snappy or crabby. You know, when the checkout person is kind of crabby and short with you, there's something going on with that person, or they wouldn't be short and crabby. You don't know what happened that morning. You don't know how they got that way. So maybe if you say something positive and nice to them, it may change their day and their attitude or make them realize, wow, that would be a way I would like to act today instead of crabby and grumpy, right? I mentioned walking through the Y, and that's exercise and movement. Now, everybody tells us to exercise, right? And of course, I would tell you to exercise, and Tracy would tell you to exercise, and most people on here would, because we do Ageless Grace, and we do NIA, and we do meditation, and we do all kinds of different things that have to do with movement and health and wellness. There are hundreds of thousands, maybe even more than that, of studies that show the best way to change your brain into a positive mood, an uplifted feeling, a supportive desire is to move. Dance. Take a dance class. Take line dancing. Take tap dancing. There are tons of dance classes all over. An exercise or fitness class, there's tons of them, all kinds, everywhere. And most health insurance programs, especially those that are Medicare Advantage, cover fitness classes of one kind or another. Silver Sneakers, Silver and Fit, Renew Active, so many different programs that pay so that you can move and exercise. You don't have to be a star. You don't have to be the teacher. You don't have to be the best at whatever it is class you're taking. But what you do need to do is move. It's very important, especially when you don't feel like moving. That tends to be a sign of, if not depression, and it can be depression, but if not depression, of lethargy, of anxiety, of stress, of overwhelm. And I think all of us are feeling that on some level or another for various reasons. So when you feel that way, the best thing you can do is say, all right, like Nike says, just do it. I'm going to get up. I'm going to put on the sloppiest shirt I have. I'm going to put on the sloppiest pants I have, and I'm going to go to this exercise class. And I don't want to do it, but I'm going to go do it anyway. And of course, there are lots of exercise classes on Zoom and on different kinds of platforms on the computer. However, and that's wonderful if you don't happen to have something close or if you don't really have the opportunity to leave your house every day. But I highly encourage you to have that social interaction in person at least a few times a week if you possibly can. It means something to get to know the people in your class and give them a hug, or just dance next to them, or do your fitness routine and talk about it afterwards. It's very important to everyone right now to have that social interaction and that connection to someone else. They don't have to be your best friend. As a matter of fact, for many of us who are maybe introverts or shy or like to be alone, we don't want to be that close to someone. So that's fine, but you can still make a connection with them. Go to that class, contribute verbally, contribute by smiling at someone else who's in the class, contribute by listening to what someone's saying about their health, their wellness, the trip they're about to take, or the vacation they just got back from, and make a comment. Connection is so very important right now. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to connect with other people, and not just on Zoom, and certainly not just on social media. Taking a break, a vacation from social media can be one of the healthiest things you can do. It's scary, I know, but you can say, I'm going to take my phone. Here it is. I'm going to take my phone. I'm going to take my phone and I'm going to put it on mute. Oh my gosh, wonder what's going to happen. And I'm not going to post for 3 days. How long can you go? 7 days? I'm not going to post. I'm just not going to do it, because social media is filled with argumentative comments, with distressing opinions. And I'm saying that for everybody. You know, whoever you are, whatever you believe, whatever you care about, there are argumentative and distressing opinions being posted all over social media all the time. We didn't used to have social media, and we all made it to here today. It's okay to not be on social media all the time. Or if you feel like, oh, there's no way I can't just disconnect for 3 days or seven. What if you were able to give yourself one 30-minute session in the morning and one 30-minute session in the afternoon, and that's it? Don't be tempted to look, in the middle of the day or on your lunch hour or while you're having lunch with a friend. I can tell you this, I have probably been on social media in the last few months a grand total of about an hour and a half over several months. It's a decision that I made, and I can't tell you how much less stress I feel. I still know what's going on. I actually get the headlines of three different newspapers and three different news outlets on my phone. Just the headlines. I have to pay money to subscribe if I want more than that. But the headlines are enough. I know what's happening. I know what's going on. Headlines are written by journalists who have been trained how to write a headline that tells you as much as possible in one line. So read the headlines. Just give yourself a chance to try no social media and reading headlines only. So the other thing that you can do is call on your spiritual practice when you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, when all the world feels like it's heavy around you. Everyone has different spiritual practices, and even people who say, well, I'm not spiritual, usually have some kind of spiritual practice, whether they realize it or not. It could be walking in nature, and it gives them a sense of peace and well-being. It could be reading. We all have something that calms us down, that nourishes us, that supports us. Certainly prayer, certainly readings that are spiritually oriented of some kind or another. Some of you have a specific faith or church or temple that you belong to. Wonderful. That's a great thing to do if you've fallen out of it a little bit since COVID, for example. Again, try not to watch the ceremony, the ritual, the service on Zoom. Try to go in person at least once in a while so that you connect, especially with other women. Because right now, women hold the key to compassion and kindness and integrity and nourishing and love and all those qualities that we need so much of right now on our planet and in our world. And you need it right there in your own community. I live in a little community. There's 14,000 of us in Hendersonville, North Carolina. I feel like when I make the choice, I don't do it all the time, but when I make the choice and remind myself that I'm going to have a positive impact on my community today, that I make a difference by doing all these little things that I've just said to you. I drag myself to someone else's fitness class, not my own, and I say hello to the person at the desk, and I comment on their beautiful blue eyes. And I see someone in class and I say, "Oh my gosh, you're such a great mover and dancer. You're wonderful. What's your background?" And I'm not amazing. I'm not remarkable. It's a simple little thing to do that again has a ripple effect. It makes the other people around you who see that you're making a choice for positivity want to make a choice for positivity also. It's very easy. Listen, I've caught myself a bunch of times. We've had massive damage to our home. This room happens to look very nice, but we've had massive damage. I've had anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 workmen crawling all over my roof, tearing out the walls, tearing out the floors, doing the ceiling. I mean, it's a lot. And I catch myself being crabby about it. And I say, Denise, this is one small thing in your life, and the rest of your life has so many positive things going on. I'm lucky, I'm blessed, so is Tracy and several other people who are on here. I get to go, I teach eight. Only Tracy teaches what, 17 or 18 classes now?
16. Six down to
16.
16.
Well, I only teach half that, but those 8 hours a week lift me up. They make me feel so positive and they remind me. I mean, sometimes I drag myself there. And then when I get there, I go like, oh my gosh, I love this. This was so good. I feel so much better. It's great. And yes, I'm the teacher, so I have to go. So it's much easier, quite frankly, to move and make a choice to do exercise and fitness or dance when you're the teacher. But yet at the same time, you can make that choice for yourself, even if you're not the teacher. Find a buddy. Buddies are wonderful, and a buddy's a great thing to have. That's another idea for getting through these challenging days that we have right now. Find a friend. Maybe it's someone you don't even know yet. Find somebody that you meet at one of these social interactions or classes or activities and say, I barely know you, but I wonder if you'd like a buddy to help navigate and to do some things with once in a while and to help navigate through this tough time that we're all going through right now. I think you might be surprised that the answer will probably be yes, even though you don't know that person very well. And another Ageless Grace educator is on today, Kathy Woods, and she specializes in music and teaching Ageless Grace to children, which we call Forever Fit for Kids. There's another way to lift your spirit up. Maybe you think you don't love kids, but I can tell you this, if you're around 2 or 3 kids for just 30 minutes, they're going to say something funny. They're going to have this uplifting energy. They're going to sing. They're going to dance. And it's going to be contagious. It's going to affect you. So, volunteering to work with children is another thing that can lift your spirit. Or just babysitting for 30 minutes to an hour for a friend and say, hey, I know that it's tough being a mom these days. Would you like me to just stay with your kids for 1 hour while you go to the grocery store or the spa or get a massage or something like that? That might sound intimidating to many of you who've already raised your own children and probably maybe some of you your grandchildren too, but I can tell you it's uplifting. It's a positive thing. Or if you don't want to actually babysit for children, what if you go to the playground and you just watch what they do? Art Linkletter used to have a show that said kids say the darndest things, right? They
Mhm.
do. And it's fascinating sometimes what they say and how they interact with each other and how they act like little grown-ups sometimes and say things that are very inspirational. There are wonderful podcasts all the time that are uplifting. And I know Tracy listens to a lot of these, and it's one of her go-to ways of
Yeah.
managing stress and overwhelm and anxiety and and depression. I mean, we all have a little level of depression or PTSD. We had a psychologist address our beloved Asheville thread on social media during the hurricane, and she said, I want you all to be very aware that every single person in Western North Carolina has PTSD. Whether you missed it and you have survivor's guilt because you were away or your house wasn't destroyed, or whether you have only $100,000 worth of damage to your home instead of losing your home entirely, or whether you lost only 7 trees instead of 27, you have PTSD. This is a huge collective trauma. And so, right now, being positive and caring for others and volunteering and all the things that I mentioned that are things we can do to lift others up. That's the goal because it will lift, that's a guarantee that it will lift you up if you start lifting others up. I mean, it's almost impossible for it not to happen. But I'm very aware of all this now because I see what's been going on around us since September 27th. It'll be a day that I'll never forget as long as I live. Hurricane Helene. I'm sorry it was a woman's name, but that's the way it is.
And that's my birthday.
I know a lot of things happened
Oh,
that day. A lot of
ay,
things
ay, ay.
happened that day. My grandson had a bone marrow transplant for his cancer, his leukemia, that day too. Another friend of mine has a birthday that day. It was a big day, positive and negative and
Yeah.
powerful. It was a powerful day. So
I
what
know
I want.
people that were born on October 7th, and you know what happened that day with the that don't ever want to celebrate their birthday again. I didn't know my birthday was on the hurricane day. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Thank goodness. I'm so glad there was a positive thing going on
Yeah.
that day. That's a wonderful thing. And but I want to just sort of end because I want you all to know that there's going to be a 30-minute discussion afterwards for people to talk, to contribute, to comment, to ask questions, whatever you'd like to. We'll start at 7:30, which is just a couple minutes from now. But I want to close by saying this. You've heard it all a million times before, even everything I've said tonight. One thing I did leave out, by the way, and I don't want to forget that, is pets, animals. And if you
Oh,
don't really want to have a cat or a dog or a bird or a fish in your home, then volunteer. Go to the shelter and volunteer. 1 hour a month, 1 hour a week. You will be amazed what it does for your heart and your attitude to be near an animal and to give some love and attention to them as well. But I want to close by saying everything I've talked about is a choice. It's a choice. And you can say, you can make 1,000 excuses. You say, oh, I can't do exercise because, oh, I can't get out of bed that early in the morning. Oh, I can't volunteer because, yeah, you can. It's a choice. It's all a choice. And right now, the whole world, your country, your state, your community, your circle of friends need you to make a choice for bringing more love, light, laughter, joy, and positivity to the world. And we all have the power to do that. Those are the most powerful emotions in the world. The final thing I want to say is this: there are only two emotions, really, and everything else is a sub emotion from that, and that is fear and love. So every time you make a decision, every time you make a choice, ask yourself, am I making this choice out of fear or out of love? Thank you all for listening.
oh, I'm gonna listen to this every day. It's gonna be on my loop. It is. It's gonna be on my loop for my videos. Thank you so much, Denise. Thank you. You're a
Thanks for
gift.
having me.
Oh,
I
thank
love
you.
women. I love women so much.
Me too. Yay. All right. Thank you